Good morning, welcome to the program. If you watched last week, you know that Opoku-Wari has made it to the finals, and today we are bringing you the other semi-final contest to determine who meets Opoku-Wari at the finals. Competing today are Ghana Secondary Technical School and St. Peter's Secondary School. St. Peter's Secondary School is to my right. Gentlemen, please introduce yourselves.
Kote Solomon, third year.
Owusu-Arko Emmanuel, third year.
Abono David, third year.
Ghana Secondary Technical School is to my left. Please introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
Inkum Jacob, Form 3.
Asam Maxwell, Form 3.
Seko Kwamnat, Form 3.
Gentlemen, you're welcome. You're not new to the program. You've made it this far. And so we'll move straight into round one. Your question, St. Peter's. Find the least value of the expression and determine the corresponding value of x. X squared minus 5x plus 7. Yes, Emmanuel.
The least value is 3 over 4, and it occurs at where s is 2.5.
That is correct. GSTS, your question. Find the least value of the expression and determine the corresponding value of x. X squared plus 8x plus 5. Sego.
The least value is negative 11, and it occurs when x equals negative 4.
That is correct. To which species does the groundnut belong? Only one attempt. To which species does the groundnut belong? David.
Hypogia.
Hypogia is correct. To which genus does the mango tree belong? Yes, Sego. Magnifera is correct. St. Peter's, what is the atomic number of the daughter nucleus when a radioactive nucleus decays by emitting a beta particle? Yes, Solomon.
The atomic number increases by 1.
That is correct. GSTS, what is the atomic number of the daughter nucleus when a nuclide captures a neutron and then emits gamma radiation? Yes, Jacob.
It remains the same.
It remains the same. St. Peter's, which of the following is most likely to acquire an electrostatic charge? A, electrical conductor, B, electrical non-conductor, C, both are equally likely, D, none of the above. Yes, David.
Electrical non-conductor.
Electrical non-conductor. GSTS, compared to a thick wire, a thin wire of the same length and material at the same temperature has A, less electrical resistance, B, more electrical resistance, C, the same electrical resistance, D, none of the above. Yes, Maxwell.
Less electrical resistance.
Sorry, it's more. Solve for x. Solve for x. St. Peter's, absolute value of x minus 3 equals 5. Yes, David.
S equals 8 or x equals minus 2.
That is correct. GSTS, absolute value of 2x minus 5 equals 3. Yes, Maxwell.
X equals to 1 or 4.
Again,
X equals to 1 or 4.
that is correct. Name the functional groups in the glucose molecule. Yes, Solomon.
The hydroxy group, the OH group. OH group and carbon double bond, carbon.
1 out of 3. Is the hydroxy or alkanol group and the aldehyde or alkanal group. Your question, GSTS. Give the systematic name of glycerol, a product of saponification of fats and oils. Say go.
1, 2, 3 propantriol.
That is correct. St. Peter's, with which group of plants would you associate pods? Yes, Solomon.
Legumes.
Legumes. GSTS, with which type of plants would you associate thigmotropism? Yes, Maxwell.
Yam.
Which type of plant is yam?
Climbing plant.
Climbing plants. St. Peter's, 1 attempt. Light moving through a small pinhole does not make a shadow with a distinct sharp edge because of A, refraction, B, diffraction, C, polarization, D, interference, E, reflection. David.
Diffraction.
Again.
Diffraction.
That is correct. GSTS, the ratio of the speed of light in a vacuum to the speed of light in some transparent material is called A, total internal reflection, B, critical angle, C, transparency, D, index of refraction, E, law of reflection. 1 attempt. Maxwell.
Index of refraction.
Index of refraction is correct. And that brings us to the end of round 1.
As I start my day, I know they are counting on me. I am a truck driver for the Ghana Education Trust Fund. My job is to supply books to schools across the country. Whenever I see the school kids, my mind goes back to my school days. I too had hopes and dreams that sadly never came to pass. I made a firm promise to myself that if I couldn't chase my dreams, I would make sure that others could. Seeing these happy kids simply warms my heart. It's happening every day, and I'm proud to be part of Get Fund. Get Fund, we invest in tomorrow's leaders.
At the end of the first round, Ghana Secondary Technical School has 21 points. St. Peter's Secondary School has 22 points. Let's move into round 2. We're starting with GSTS this time. Vegetable oils are converted into solid fats by the process of hardening. What is the chemistry of hardening of oils? Yes, Sego.
This by hydrogenation. That's hydrogen. I'm adding a hydrogen molecule to the vegetable oil and then heating. Hydrogen molecule or breaking the double bond and converting the double bond into a saturated carbon atom. That's breaking the double bond into a single bond of saturated.
2 out of 3. The vegetable oils are treated with hydrogen in the presence of a metal catalyst. That's very important. And the double bonds in the oil are then saturated. St. Peter's. Palm oil, a red-colored oil, is used in manufacturing various soaps, some of which are colorless or white. How is the color removed? Yes, Solomon.
Palm oil is bleached by powerful oxidizing agents which change the red color.
It is not correct. I won't take that. Sorry, you've been bailed out. For a bonus. Yes, Maxwell.
When the palm oil is hydrolyzed by the base or the alkaline, the substance, the color changes.
The palm oil is either heated with activated clay or it undergoes selective absorption. Okay, your question, GSTS. Give me 3 roles that pheromones play in the social life of animals. Pheromones. Yes, Jacob.
It's used in sexual reproduction, that is to attract the male or the opposite sex, and it's used to decline a territory for an organism.
Yes, I'm listening.
Then also to drive away other organisms from entering and aid with the organism's territory.
I'll give you the mark. It's used to attract mates, to mark trails, to mark territories, and for social cohesion. St. Peter's, give me the roles that the crop and the gizzard play in digestion in the chicken. Yes, Emmanuel.
The crop stores food so that they can be gradually taken into the gizzard, which contains stones, so that it can be ground into finer particles.
And the crop also moistens the food that is taken in there, and the gizzard contains grapes, which act on the food.
That is correct. Yes. In 35 minutes, through what angle will the minute hand of a clock rotate? Yes, Maxwell.
210 degrees.
210 degrees. The hour hand of a clock rotates through 75 degrees. Find the time it takes to do this. 150 minutes. That is 2.5 hours. I'll give you the mark. GSTS, the water at the bottom of a waterfall is warmer than that at the top. Why is this so? Yes, Sego.
This is because as the water falls from the waterfall, the potential energy that's at the top of the water is converted to kinetic energy. So as the water falls, the kinetic energy is converted to the internal molecular energy in the water, which generates the heat, and hence the water at the bottom is
I'll give you the mark. You should say when the kinetic energy is converted to heat, when it strikes the bottom, okay, and that is why it's warmer at the bottom than at the top. St. Peter's, equal quantities of ice are placed into 2 glasses, one containing water and the other containing an equal amount of an alcoholic beverage at the same temperature. Which will cool faster, the water or the alcoholic beverage, and why? Only one attempt. Yes, Solomon.
The alcoholic beverage will cool faster. This is because it has a lower specific capacity than the water. So with
lower thermal capacity than the GSTS, your question. How does potassium thiocyanate, a reagent for the conformation of iron 3, react with the ions? Yes, Maxwell.
the ion displaces the potassium from the cyanide to form ion thiocyanate.
And what do you observe? 1 out of 3. Now the ion thiocyanate gives a blood red solution, and that is what will confirm the presence of iron 3. St. Peter's, what is the presence of how is the presence of lead ions in solution confirmed? Yes, David.
By adding KCl07.
And what do you observe?
White bit. Yellowish.
Right, I didn't say 1 out of 10, so I'll give you the full mark. Your question, GSTS. During aerobic respiration, living organisms take in oxygen to break down organic food substances with the release of energy and carbon dioxide. A motor car also takes in oxygen to burn up fuel and give off carbon dioxide. Would you be justified in concluding that a motor car is sparse? Give a reason for your answer. Yes, Maxwell.
The motor car doesn't respire because the respiration, aerobic respiration, involves the use of oxygen to break down organic molecules into pyruvic acid, but the car does not produce pyruvic acid.
It is not correct. Belda. Yes, Solomon.
Respiration is the breakdown of organic molecules by oxygen in the presence of enzymes. But since in the engine of the car, there are no enzymes present, you cannot conclude that respiration.
St. Peter's Secondary, only 1 attempt. During aerobic respiration, an organism A uses up carbohydrates, B takes in oxygen, C gives out carbon dioxide, D produces water vapor, E releases energy. Which of the above is not a reliable test of respiration and why?
Uses carbohydrate. This is because or it's not all living organisms that use carbohydrates. Some use other forms of organic matter like protein and other sorts of food energy.
Sorry, that is not the answer. Production of water vapor, and this is because even non-living matter can produce water vapor through evaporation. Your question, GSTS. An amount of money was invested, partly at 20% and the remainder at 30% simple interest. The amount invested at 20% was twice that at 30%. The total yearly interest for both investments was 21 million cedis. What was the total amount invested? Yes, Ego.
3 million.
It is not correct. For a bonus, Emmanuel.
300 million.
It is 90 million cedis. Your major question, St. Peter's. An amount of 50 million cedis was invested partly at 25% and the remainder at 20%. The total yearly interest from both investments was 12 million cedis. Find the amount invested at each rate of interest. Yes, Emmanuel.
48 million.
For a bonus, GSTS. Yes, Maxwell.
30 million, the 20%.
It is not correct. It's 10 million cedis at 20% and 40 million cedis at 25%. Your question, GSTS. What water... I do. GSTS, your major question. Hot water is more effective in cleaning than cold water. Why? Yes, Maxwell.
Because the hot water, when applied to a dirty surface, agitates the molecules, which reduces the adhesion between the dirt and the surface.
I can't hear you, Maxwell.
The hot water, when applied to the dirty surface in cleaning, agitates the dirt molecules and then it facilitates easier cleaning.
It is not correct. For a bonus, Solomon.
Since hot water contains more energy than cold water, that's latent energy and sensible energy, it's able to reduce the surface tension. So it can of the water, so it can easily permeate the fabric and
That is correct. St. Peter's, your final question for this round. A car is moving eastward. What is the direction of the frictional force between the tires and the road, and why? Only one attempt, Solomon.
The frictional force acts in the direction eastward. This is because even though the car is moving eastward, the tires are moving westward, and friction acts in the direction opposite the movement of the tires, which will be eastward.
That brings us to the end of round 2.
As a little girl, my dream was to become a doctor. I always wanted to help the sick. Now I'm in the dental school together with others who had similar dreams. The support from the Ghana Education Trust Fund has made things a lot better. Their support has helped provide new equipment, teaching aids, improved facilities, and our student loan. We're studying hard, and we know that we can continue to count on support from Get Fund to turn our dreams into reality.
At the end of round 2, here are the scores. Ghana Secondary Technical School has 33 points. St. Peter's Secondary School has 39 points. We'll move on to round 3. Contestants, please turn over your sheets. You have 3 minutes to solve this problem. An object is dropped from a height h above the ground. Find the height above the ground at which its potential energy will be twice its kinetic energy, and the speed of the object at that instant in terms of only g and h. That, viewers, is the problem of the day.
The future lies in the hands of our children. Children today, leaders tomorrow. And education holds the key. Without the proper learning environment, these children may never reach their full potential. And it should not be that way. That is where the Ghana Education Trust Fund steps in, so that these children can have access to basic facilities and enjoy the learning experience. Gradually, one by one, we are removing the barriers in the way of quality basic education. We will continue, so they too can continue. Get Fund. We invest in tomorrow's leaders.
Thanks for staying with us, viewers. The contestants will now present their solutions. There we are with the contestant solution. I'll quickly go through what I have. We were informed that an object was dropped from a height h above ground, and contestants were to find the height above the ground at which the potential energy of the object is twice its kinetic energy, and also find the speed of the object at that instant in terms of only g and h. Now, initial potential energy equals mgh. Let x be the height above the ground at which the object's potential energy will be twice its kinetic energy. At that instant, potential energy PE equals mgx, and that equals 2ke, where ke is kinetic energy. That implies that ke equals half mgx. Call that equation 1. From the law of conservation of energy, initial potential energy equals sum of potential energy and kinetic energy at x meters above the ground. Therefore, mgh equals mgx plus half mgx. And that implies that mgh equals 3 over 2 mgx. And therefore, x is 2h over 3. Now from equation 1, we have half mv squared equals half mgx. And therefore, v squared equals gx. But we found x to be 2h over 3. And therefore, v is square root of 2gh over 3. And that's what we were expecting from our contestants. Let's look at the solution from St. Peter's Secondary. Viewers, you'll notice that our friends from St. Peter's did not consider the question at all. We were to find a height above the ground at which potential energy will be twice kinetic energy. So that clause we put there, let x be the height above the ground at which PE equals 2KE. That did not come up, and it affected everything that they did, because you have to have a variable and look for that variable, because you had been given h to be the highest point. At which distance then, or at which height then above the ground would you have this occurrence? So that understanding did not come out, and they did not get what we expected from them. They get 2 out of 10. If you look at the solution from Ghana Secondary Technical School, viewers, you notice the story is no different. They also get 2 out of 10. We'll move on to round 4. You have 30 seconds as usual for questions that involve calculation and 15 seconds for those that do not. Your question, St. Peter's Secondary. How long will it take a heating element rated 1.5 kilowatts to heat 2 kilograms of water from 25 degrees Celsius to 75 degrees Celsius? Specific heat capacity of water is 4,200 joules per kilogram per Kelvin. Yes, David.
280 seconds.
Again.
280 seconds.
280. Ghana Secondary. An electric heater is used to melt a block of ice of mass 1 kilogram. If the heater is powered by a 12-volt battery and 10 amps of current flows through the coil, calculate the time taken to melt the block of ice. Specific latent heat of fusion of ice is 3.36 times 10 to the power 5 joules per kilogram. Yes, say go.
2.8 times 10 raised to the power 5.
It is not correct.
1.8 times 10 to the power 5 seconds.
Say go.
2.8 times 10 raised to the power 4.
For a bonus, David.
2,800 seconds.
2,000. Negative 50 is less than or equal to x less than or equal to negative 25. And negative 30 is less than or equal to y less than or equal to 50. St. Peter's, find a range of values for x plus y. Yes, David.
Minus 80 less than or equal to x plus y less than or equal to less than or equal to 25.
That is correct. GSTS, find a range of values for xy. A range of values for xy. Yes, Maxwell.
Minus 250 is less than or equal to xy, less than or equal to 150.
It's not correct, Maxwell. Yes, Maxwell.
Minus 2,500 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 1,500.
That is correct. St. Peter's, your question, only one attempt. An element with the symbol Q has three natural isotopes Q1, Q2, Q3 with mass numbers 41, 44, and 46 respectively. If the element exists as diatomic molecules, how many peaks will appear in its mass spectrum? Assume no fragmentation takes place. Yes, Emmanuel.
6.
6 is correct. The element Q has three natural isotopes, Q1, Q2, and Q3. Their mass numbers and respective abundances are Q1, 41 and 50%, 41, 50%, Q2, 44, 30%, Q3, 46, 20%. Calculate the relative atomic weight of the element. Yes, Jacob.
42.90.
That is correct. Pick the odd one out and give a reason for your choice. A. Ceratophyllum. B. Salvinia. C. Pistia. D. Lemna. E. Agilia. One attempt only. Yes, Solomon.
Salvinia. This is because the rest are water plants. Salvinia is not.
Sorry. Agilia is a terrestrial climbing plant. All the others are aquatic plants, including Salvinia. GSTS, pick the odd one out and give a reason for your choice. A. Limpet. B. Chameleon. C. Oyster. D. Scorpion. E. Woodlice. Yes, Maxwell.
Chameleon. It is terrestrial, but that is aquatic.
Two out of 3. It is chameleon. It's a reptile and therefore the only one with a backbone. The others are invertebrates. St. Peter's. The apical meristem of the stem consists of 3 distinct regions, namely the dermatogen, the periblem, and the plerum. Name the tissues formed from each organ, from each region. To avoid confusion, one attempt, please. Yes, Solomon.
The dermatogen gives rise to lateral roots. Then the periblem gives rise to the tissues of the vascular system, and the plerum gives rise to the tissues of the cortex.
For a bonus GSTS. Yes, Sego.
The dermatogen give rise to the epidermis. The periblem give rise to the vascular bundles or the vascular tissues, and then the pleurum give rise to the cortex.
Sorry, you interchanged. The dermatogen forms the epidermis, the periblem forms the cortex, and the pleurum forms all the tissues internal to the cortex, including the vascular tissue. Your question, GSTS. Give me 3 differences between the spongy and palisade layers of a leaf. Yes, Maxwell.
The palisade layer is made up of rectangular cells, and the spongy layer is made up of spherical or circular cells, and then the spongy has air spaces, but the
1 out of 3. Yes, the spongy layer have large air spaces, whereas the palisade are more closely fitted together. The palisade contains chloroplast, the spongy cells do not. The cells of the palisade are tall, narrow, and cylindrical, whereas those of the mesophyll are irregular shaped. They are not spherical, okay? Your question, St. Peter's. At constant pressure, the volume of a fixed mass of gas at minus 23 degrees Celsius is reduced from 750 cm3 to 510 cm3. What is the new temperature of the gas in degrees Celsius? Yes, Emmanuel.
150/3.
You have one last chance. Yes, Solomon.
The 270.
For a bonus GSTS. Yes, Maxwell.
minus 103 degrees Celsius.
It's minus 103 degrees Celsius. The temperature of a fixed volume of gas is 77 degrees Celsius. If the pressure is increased from 273 pascals to 546 pascals, what will be the new temperature in degrees Celsius? Bonus, Emmanuel.
127 degrees.
You again. Yes.
427 degrees Celsius.
I'll give you the mark. Your question, St. Peter's. Calculate the enthalpy change for the forward reaction of the reversible reaction involving NO2 and ClNO. The balance equation is ClNO plus NO2 going to ClNO2 plus NO. The enthalpies of formation of the compounds in kilojoules per mole are ClNO negative 790, NO2 negative 938, ClNO2 negative 1080, that's 1080, negative 1080, and NO negative 632. Calculate the enthalpy change for the forward reaction. Emmanuel.
Plus 18.
Yes, David.
16 kilojoules per mole.
It's plus 16 kilojoules per mole. GSTS. Calcium triazonitrate 5 on heating decomposes to the metal oxide, oxygen, and nitrogen 4 oxide. The equation for the reaction is as follows. CaNO3 in brackets 2 going to 2CaO plus 4NO2 plus O2. The enthalpies of formation in kilojoules per mole are CaO negative 1060, CaNO3 2 negative 3560, NO2 negative 940. Show that the compound does not decompose until it is heated. Explain your answer. Yes, Maxwell.
But the enthalpy changes endothermic, so heat has to be applied to be able to decompose it.
What is the enthalpy change?
Plus,
For a bonus,
Then the enthalpy changes negative 2,320. And it's because since it's negative, it cannot decompose.
no. You see, I cannot give the mark because your explanation should be on the basis of the calculation. If the calculation is wrong, we can say you're guessing. The enthalpy of reaction is plus 620 kilojoules per mole. And because it is positive, it means that heat has to be provided in order for the reaction to go to completion. Your question, St. Peter's. Solve for x and y from the matrix equation. 2, 1, 1, 2 times xy equals 4, 5. Yes, David.
X is 1, Y is 2.
That is correct. GSTS, solve for x and y from the matrix equation. 3, 1, negative 1, 2 times xy equals negative 3, 8. Yes, Jacob.
X is equal to minus 2 and y is equal to 3.
That is correct. And that brings us to the end of round 4.
As a little girl, my dream was to become a doctor. I always wanted to help the sick. Now I'm in the dental school together with others who had similar dreams. The support from the Ghana Education Trust Fund has made things a lot better. Their support has helped provide new equipment, teaching aids, improved facilities, and our student loan. We're studying hard, and we know that we can continue to count on support from Get Fund to turn our dreams into reality.
At the end of the fourth round, here are the scores. Ghana Secondary Technical School has 48 points. St. Peter's Secondary School has 58 points. Let's move into the final round. For the first part, you have 10 seconds to say whether the statement made to your school is true or false. Remember, you gain 2 points for a correct answer, and we deduct a mark from your score for an incorrect answer. You may choose not to say whether your statement is true or false, in which case I will pass it on to the other school under the same conditions. That is, if they choose to take the statement. Your statement, GSTS. 2 matrices may be added if they are of the same order. Jacob.
It's true.
Correct. Sulfur can occur free or in the combined state. Solomon.
True.
Correct. GSTS. Alpha particles are doubly charged helium nuclei. Jacob.
It's false.
It is true. When a stem is cut above root level and sap oozes out, it demonstrates the occurrence of transpirational plume. Solomon.
False.
Correct. The oxidation state of sulfur in S4O62- is plus 2.5. Jacob.
True.
Correct. St. Peter's, 2 matrices may be multiplied if they are of the same order. Solomon?
False.
Correct. GSTS, the stem of a bulb does not store food. Jacob? True. Correct. St. Peter's, pressure is force times unit area. Solomon?
False.
Correct. GSTS, if a function has an inverse, then it is 1-to-1. Jacob?
True.
Correct. St. Peter's, carbon loses 8 electrons when methane burns to form carbon 4 oxide. Solomon?
False.
It is true, please. Connecting resistors in parallel increases the total resistance. Connecting resistors in parallel. Yes, Jacob?
False.
Correct. St. Peter's, the loop of Henle of the nephron is located in the medullary region of the kidney. Solomon? Correct. GSTS, replacement of petrol with ethanol will solve the problem of global warming. Jacob?
False.
Correct. St. Peter's, the quadratic function y equals x squared has an inverse. Solomon?
False.
Correct. Your final statement, GSTS, the distal convoluted tubule of the nephron is located in the medullary region of the kidney. Jacob?
False.
Correct. St. Peter's, total internal reflection can occur only when light travels from a denser medium into a less dense medium. Solomon?
True.
That is correct. And now the second part of round 5, both schools will be competing to be the first to solve a riddle. We have 4 riddles and I'll be reading the clues to each riddle. When they are ready to solve a riddle, they call my attention by ringing a bell. Let's hear the bell from St. Peter's. Let's hear your bell, GSTS. Let's take the first riddle. Most of the time, I am used alone in my solid state. I love heat because it is in extreme heat that my full potential is realized. In the heat, I break down and give up my ghosts. Transfer of my ghosts enables certain foods rise from the dead. I am also good at removing unwanted odor from new freezers and refrigerators. If there are stains in them, try my aqueous solution. If my trivial name, Emmanuel.
Ammonia.
If my trivial name is baking soda, then who am I? Who am I? Who am Sego.
Sodium bicarbonate. The 10 moles of water.
I'm sorry, there are no 10 moles of water. It's just sodium hydrogen trioxocarbonate 4, or NaHCO3. We'll take the second riddle. Based on the first part of my name, you will think I have something to do with minute objects. I come in different forms and sizes. I am a transducer. I work in conjunction with my loud-mouthed cousin, Solomon.
The microphone.
Microphone. We'll take the third riddle. I am a 2-digit number and a bit of an odd fellow. I am a multiple of 5 and divisible by 3. My digits are consecutive integers. Who rang the bell?
45.
I had pain. Is it?
It was at 45.
45. Let's take the final riddle. I am a term often used to refer to an order of insects. Outside the insect world, I am used to describe an enthusiastic interest in something specific. I am also used to describe a germ or an infection. The aphid and the cotton stainer are true examples of me. Solomon.
Hemiptera.
Let's finish. The Secret Service has great use of me when it comes to listening in on other people's conversation. Who am I? Who am I? And it's the bag. That brings us to the end of round 5.
The future lies in the hands of our children. Children today, leaders tomorrow. And education holds the key. Without the proper learning environment, these children may never reach their full potential. And it should not be that way. That is where the Ghana Education Trust Fund steps in, so that these children can have access to basic facilities and enjoy the learning experience. Gradually, one by one, we are removing the barriers in the way of quality basic education. We will continue, so they too can continue. Get Fund. We invest in tomorrow's leaders.
At the end of the contest, here are the scores. Ghana Secondary Technical School has 61 points. St. Peter's Secondary School has 77 points. Viewers, we have a winner, and it means that St. Peter's will be meeting Owusu-Arko at the finals. And that also means that GSTS will be meeting Presby Boys Secondary School next week to determine who takes third place. We thank you for keeping us company. We'll bring you the contest to determine third place next week. Congratulations, St. Peter's. I'll see you at the finals. And that brings us to the end of the program. Make a date with us same time next week. Bye for now.